Welcome to our channel. In this video, we are going to see Introduction to Computer Aided Drug Design. Let me start with a question. What is CAD? So, Computer Aided Drug Design is a process of drug discovery in which we are going to use computers. So, if you see, normal drug design is an invention process to find out new medications based on the knowledge of the biological target. If the same drug design was done with the help of computational approaches, then it is called as computer aided drug design. And now you see the normal process of drug discovery. So you see here the inverted cone. You can see in the initial stages of drug discovery, around 5,000 to 10,000 compounds will be taken, and those will be sensitized, and various processes will be done. And after this may take up to 3 to 5 years. After this, few of these, that is around 250 compounds, will be entering preclinical studies, which may take up to 1 to 2 years. After that, out of this 250, only 5 compounds may enter into the human clinical trials, which is again divided into phase 1, 2, 3, and 4. Phase 4 is called as post-marketing surveillance, and out of these 5 compounds, only one drug may get regulatory approval. So if you see the entire process, it is taking a lot of time and a lot of money for synthesizing these compounds. With this note, now I'm going to ask you the next question: why CAD? So you see, by using CAD, three things can be done very easily. First thing is cost. The normal drug discovery process, as we discussed in previous slide, it is going to take more cost and more time and obviously most competition. So drug discovery process is having these three key factors, that is amount, that is cost, and time, and competition. If any pharmaceutical company want to overcome these three factors, then one need to use computer aided drug designing. The advantages of using computer aided drug designing, the advantages of using computer aided drug designing are to save time, cost, to increase accuracy, and have more information about the disease, and database screening, and all these things can be performed with minimal manpower. So these are the advantages of computer aided drug design. So let us see few success stories of computer aided drug design in our next slide. Here you can see tirofiban, sequinavir, ritonavir, indinavir, dorzolamide, and captopril are few examples of the drugs which are developed with the help of computers, that is computer aided drug designing. And now let us see types of computer aided drug design. So here these are four different categories or types of computer aided drug design, which we can classify based upon the information what we are having. Basically, to perform computer aided drug design, one needs two types of information, that is information about the target structure, that is protein structure, and the information about the ligand structure. So whether you know this, either the ligand structure or target protein structure, based on that we can divide the situation into four criteria. First thing is the both are known, that is the target protein structure and the ligand structure. Then we can go for structure based drug design, which can be performed with the help of protein ligand docking. And let me come to the second category, that is protein structure was not known whereas ligand structure was known. Then we have to go for ligand based drug design, or else pharmacophore modeling and QSAR, and recently QSPR is also being very famously heard for identifying ADMET properties. And if we know the target protein structure, but we don't know the ligand structure, then we can go for fragment based drug design, which is also called as de novo drug design. Okay, it is also called as fragment based drug design. And if we don't know any information, then CAD is of no use, because in order to perform CAD, one should need some experimental data, that is proved, biologically proved data, either regarding the ligand or protein. And the workflow of CAD will be like this. You can see, after virtual screening, the virtual screening, which is divided into two types. Of course, broadly it is divided into two types: ligand-based drug design or structure-based drug design. In ligand-based drug design, various ligands will be uh, compared, and a lot of work can be done by either QSAR studies or pharmacophore modeling. And in structure-based drug design, we are going to perform docking after after performing either ligand-based drug design or structure-based drug design. We are going to take the target outputs, and which are going to be applied for funneling rule, that is drug likeliness or lead-like properties or toxicity, paints. Paints means pan-assay interference compounds. Pan-assay interference compounds. These compounds will give false results. Okay, so after we have to take out them also, and then after filtering ADME properties, then we are going to get only few compounds, and we are going to re-rank them based upon the drug likeliness and these all properties. And after that, the selected compounds are going to be synthesized, and we are going to perform in vitro assay. This is going to be a typical workflow of a CAD, that is computer aided drug design. And now let us see one by one type. Coming to the first one, that is ligand based drug design. So in ligand based drug design, one need to know the information about the prune ligands. For example, if someone want to develop an antihistaminic, then the so-called person should have already proved antihistaminic ligands. So based upon the properties of that known antihistaminic compounds, one could develop the new antihistaminic molecule. So here, as I said, it is going to be relied on the knowledge of other molecules that can bind to this same biological target of our own interest. So used to derive pharmacophore model that defines the minimum necessity structural requirements of the molecule in order to bind to the given target. A model of the biological target may be built based upon the knowledge of what binds to it. You can see here, if we consider this as the active site, so here we may have a knowledge about the active site, or else regarding the ligand, like for example, here it should be an aromatic compound, or else a hydrogen bond donor, or hydrogen bond acceptor, or else hydrophobic moiety, like this. So if these are the positions where such properties should be there, so you have to calculate, or you have to get a knowledge on these positions. So that's what it was said. A model of biological target may be built on the knowledge of what binds to it, and this model in turn may be used to design the newer molecular entities which are going to interact with our target. And this is the example of pharmacophore modeling. For example, if you consider these three are the markedly available or known biological targets of a particular interest, then based upon this, we are going to search for the properties which are similar. So you can see here it is aromatic in nature. Here it is acceptor, hydrogen bond acceptor. Here it is hydrogen bond donor. Here again aromatic in nature. So if one again, if we want to develop a new ligand, then we need to keep in our mind about these properties at these positions. This is called as pharmacophore modeling. And next, alternatively, one may also perform ligand-based drug design based upon the quantitative structural activity relationship, which is in shortcut also called as QSAR. So in general, we might have heard about a structural activity relationship, that is SAR, in which we may study that by altering a group at some particular position, either the activity may be increased or decreased. But here in quantitative structural activity relationship, we are going to see how much it is going to increase or decrease by converting the activity into a mathematical model, which I have given. For example, log 1 by C. In QSAR terms, log 1 by C is considered as biological activity. So in few books or videos, maybe it may be described as BA, that is biological activity, and these are the mathematical expressions of the physicochemical properties or descriptors, function of descriptors. So this is an example equation. Like these equations we have to develop on our own for our desired set of proved molecules, and then we have to validate that equation, and then that validated equation should be applied onto the designed new ligands. And coming to the next type of computer-aided drug design technique, that is structure-based drug design, in which we are going to perform docking. So in order to perform structure-based drug design, one is going to rely on the knowledge of the 3D structures of biological targets, that is proteins, which are obtained through XRD or electron microscopy. If an experimental structure of the target is not available, then it is also possible to create an experimental protein structure with the help of homology modeling of target based on experimental structure relied on the related protein. What about the homology modeling means? If you are having the amino acid sequence of the target protein but you don't know the 3D structure, then we are going to take the related protein and we are going to use that as a base structure in which we are going to set our amino acid sequence, and we are going to create our own 3D protein structure, that is called as homology modeling. So that's what we are going to construct the atomic resolution models based upon the uh, target what we have taken as a template. And this structure based drug design is going to use various things like interactive graphics, intelligence of medicinal chemist, various automated computational processes such as various docking softwares. And coming to the process of computer aided drug design, that is docking, the first thing what we have to do is binding site identification. This binding site identification can be identified by with the help of various softwares by running them, or else various servers. But I prefer to depend upon your literature, if possible. If literature is available, try to rely upon the literature. If not, then you have to go for blind docking, or else you have to identify the possible docking site, that is docking spots or docking pockets with the help of various hot spots like hydrophobic surfaces, hydrogen bonding sites, etc. And next we are going to perform docking. Docking is nothing but it's like identifying how much exactly our ligand is going to fit to the target protein when it was given into the biological system. So it is uh, it is going we are going to run a docking program uh, through which we are going to identify various orientations of the ligand, and at which orientation we can find the best fit with the help of various docking programs. This is going to be the sequence. First identify and prepare the target protein, then your ligands, then we are going to run the target the docking program, and we are going to get the target compound complex. And for this target compound complex, we are going to perform scoring and ranking. This scoring and ranking is going to be done for best fit, and it should be including the right key for the lock. So how to perform this docking with help of various softwares? Okay, here this is the equation based upon which the docking score will be identified. E-bind is can be called as docking score. E-bind can be called as docking score, which will be the summation of energy of intramolecular forces and non-polar forces and polar forces. Here, after performing docking, you can find a tabular column like this. We can develop a tabular column like this with the help hit 1, hit 2, hit 3, and like this. These are the hits, means the ligands what you are using. Okay, and their docking score, and top 5, 10, or based upon your experimental observations, you can finalize few top performing hits based upon the score, and we can go for experimental wet lab analysis. And for performing such docking, we do have various programs like a dock, autodock, flex, gold, and glide. Out of these, few are free programs like autodock, and few are paid like a glide. Glide is supplied by Schrodinger. And coming to our de novo drug design, which is also called as fragment based drug design. De novo means from beginning. Okay, so here we are not going to rely on any available ligands. We are going to develop our own ligand based upon the receptor structure. So that's why it is called as de novo drug design. Here, for example, consider this as the active site. So in this, we are going to fit our required fragments. So for example, here it may be an pyrrole, here it is a benzene, it is cyclohexanone, like this. These parts are going to these in this active site, these three moieties or fragments are going to fit very perfectly. So into this, now we are going to form bridges, that is bridging, and then we are going to develop our own ligand. So here this ligand was entirely newly developed based upon the information of the interaction site. So that's why it is called as de novo drug design. The major limitation of de novo drug design is this formed ligand can interact with only this receptor, and that's it for computer aided drug design. So with this, I think I have given you the basics of computer aided drug design. If you have any queries, please do comment. Thank you.